Hey everyone, Asian Bass Guy here. In this video I'm going to talk about square bill cranks. Probably my third most favorite way to catch bass. They're just a great all-around bait. Didn't really used to throw them. I used to throw cranks, swim jigs, and then I wanted something with a little bit more deflection action than my swim jig. So I switched over to square bill crank. Plus, you know, it was the new hotness on the tour a couple years ago. Wasn't really popular. It didn't really get too popular until KVD started throwing this one. But it was still pretty popular. If you watch the what was it, the 04 Classic, Takahiro Mori won the that classic with a square bill crank. But I'm gonna go over some of the different ones I threw when I started throwing. And first one I threw was a Team Daiwa TD crank. Ow. Here's one here. And here's another one. I really like these baits. They got really good color and they got real good action. They come through the cover really well. The only thing I didn't like about them is they're kind of small. They got a small profile. And so if you get any kind of wind, you'd have to throw it on a real light line and try to wing it out there, and you know, just kind of switched over. And I don't know why I switched, but oh yeah, well, I watched that 04 episode of Takahiro Mori, just yarding them in with the balsa crankbait, and so I switched over to a bomber balsa bait, and I really like this crankbait. It was a really good crankbait. It's got a lot of wag. It's got a little swag to it, a lot of waggle, a lot of wiggle. But the thing about it is you have to buy 5 or 6 of these in order to get one that runs right, that you like, because they are balsa. I tried doing the old paint on the outside, but as you can see, really didn't work too well. It's not worth the trouble. Maybe I was using the wrong nail polish or whatever, but when you're buying nail polish, you just want to buy the first one you see. But not really staying there, staring at a lot of different kinds. But I have this one here. It's brand new. The reason why I haven't thrown this is well, I threw this. I just didn't like the way it waggled, and so didn't have that hunting action. And but as far as shallow cover, a little bit more murky water where the color is not necessary. This is probably my go-to bait. Now, if I need to get a little bit deeper, shallow cover, and I'll talk about this one later. But yeah, I used to throw the balsa bait, and I still like it, and I still throw it. It just doesn't have the what I usually throw on these is sunken wood, maybe a log coming down, and these are more for surface 2 to 3 foot shallow flats with wood on them, or stumps. Stump. This probably is a great stump bumper. And then I started throwing the old Bagleys. This is a Bagleys. This is a square bill. This is a coffin bill. I like these baits. They caught a lot of fish, especially this, the citrus shad. Man, I was on a citrus shad freak. They were eating this. But then it got to a point where they were eating it, but they were getting more toward the back of the hook, and so I switched over to this color, and they were eating that. But the thing about these is, you know, 1, 2, 3 casts of hitting stuff, bouncing off stuff, these break. They're cheap. They got more of a wiggle to them, more than a wobble, and so they're a good bait for the cold, and in the springtime or in the fall, where it's a little bit cooler, because it's got more of a natural wag or wiggle than a wag. But let's see. And then the next one I started throwing was, of course, Kevin Van Dam's when they get real hot, the 2.0s, the 2.5. These are a really good bait. They're cheap, they don't break, and they got pretty good colors. But the reason why I switched from doing those, I would say if you're on a budget and you want to start throwing them and just getting used to throwing them and you hit a lot of junk and you're not real accurate, then I would start throwing the KVDs. And also another thing too is if you switch over to the 2.5s, even though they're not maybe the size of forage or color or whatever, but just to get used to bumping it in the wood, I would throw the 2.5, a little bit heavier one, because it's easier to cast and you get a lot more accurate casts. But my go-to bait recently has been the BDS3 made by Lucky Craft. This is by far the best bait, square bill crankbait I throw. And this color here, and the reason why I throw this one here opposed to this one here is this is the bluegill pattern, and yeah, you can still see through it, but we have some pretty clear legs, and they seem to almost kind of beat up. I don't know if you can see it. They're pretty clear, you know. Here's the Skeet Reese Magic color. I mean, it's got a lot of glimmer. This one almost imitates a trout, and it's got a little bit of chartreuse on the bottom. But compared to the colors, that I think this is the only one. This one and the Ghost Minnow and the KVDs are the two I throw when the water's clear. But if the water's a little murky, you know, I'll throw these. But I have so much confidence in the BDS3s. Actually, this one's a BDS4. But the BDS3s, the BDS4s, and the BDS3s is what I throw. And so the difference between BDS4 and BDS3 is that BDS4, this one here, is a little bit more wide. It's a little bit wider, pushes a lot more water, and they can feel it better. But yeah, so hopefully this video helped you out on what do you want to buy. Don't be like me and have every brand, and this is 3/4 of them, and a lot of money in here. I'll probably only throw like 3 different brands and maybe 5 crankbaits at the most. And so just pick your crankbait on the budget that you have. I think Lucky Crafts, I think these are like 17 bucks. These are about 9 bucks. And I think these are about $4.50. And so pick your budget, pick your forage, what kind of forage you have in your lake, and then just try them out. And so later when it gets cranking season, I'll do a how-to video on how to actually throw these and where to throw them, and everybody's seen the pros fish with them, but it's I'll tell you some things that help me. Until you actually go out there and do it and get hung all the time, you really don't know until you do it. So hope this helped you out, and thanks for watching my video.